Boleh, boleh. Oke, Bismillahirrahmanirrahim. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.
Okay, first of all, let us say gratitude to Allah Subhanahu wa Taala. May of all His blessings, so we can gather together in this Zoom meeting to finish the task from Mr. Kahar as our lecturer in psycholinguistic. And don't forget to send salawat and salam to our Prophet Muhammad Sallallahu Alaihi Wasallam, the hero of Muslim who has brought us from the darkness into the lightness. Okay, now we will have a group discussion. So let me introduce our group. So my name is Andi Astrid Anissa. So I'll be the moderator and the speaker. Beside me is Andi Nuratia, and in below is Siti Aisyah Masnur. Okay, we move to the first question. The first question is, what do you know of pedagogy and language pedagogy? Explain your answer in detail. Okay, for the first question, I give it opportunity to Andi Nuratia to answer it. To Andi Nuratia, time provided.
Okay, thank you for the opportunity has given to me. I will answer the first question about pedagogy. According to Dictionary Cambridge, pedagogy refers to the study of the methods and activities of teaching, and several other opinions that are almost the same. So what I get about pedagogy is a series of methods that teachers and students during the teaching and learning process, where this method is like a solution for how to teach to suit student needs. And then according to study.com, language pedagogy is a rigorous field of study that thoroughly examine principle and practice of teaching a second language, and in which teacher focus on equipping learner to acquire proficiency in a new language. What I got was that language pedagogy is more complex than pedagogy. Is the principle used by teachers so that it focus on the teacher's success in conveying language knowledge to a student. That is my answer. Thank you.
Okay, thank you for the answer. Now I will give an opportunity to my friends Aisyah Masnur to answer the first question. To Aisyah Masnur, time provided you.
Okay, thanks for the chance you given to me. So what I know about the pedagogy and language pedagogy is pedagogy refers to the method and practice of teaching and encompassing instructional strategies, educational theories, and the overall approach to facilitating learning. Language pedagogy specifically focuses on the teaching and learning of language. It involves understanding linguistic theories, language acquisition process, and design effective language instruction. So, in the context of language pedagogy, various methodologies have been developed over time, including grammar translation method, direct method, audiolingual method, communicative language teaching, test-based language teaching, understanding the principle of language acquisition, such as the critical period hypothesis and the role of input, is essential in language pedagogy. Effective language pedagogy also involves the integration of technology, assessment strategies, and the consideration of cultural aspects. It's dynamic file that adapts to new research finding and evolving educational paradigms. Maybe that's all from me. I return to moderator.
Okay, thank you so much for the answer. So, it's time to me to answer the first question. So, based on the references that I have read, pedagogy is refers to the study of education and practice of learning activities. So, pedagogy it's not only cover the activity of teaching, but also the interaction between the teacher and the students and the environment and the outside world. And meanwhile, the language pedagogy can be defined as the principle that used by teacher to present effective language instruction to students. So it involves understanding the principle, methods, and techniques for effectively impairing language skills such as listening, speaking, reading, and writing. Okay, that's all from me. We move to the second question. The second question is, do you agree with saying the psycholinguistic is an approach? How come? Explain your position with the reason and evidence. So, I will be the first speaker to answer the second question. So, the answer is yes. I strongly agree that psycholinguistic is an approach within the field of linguistics. Psycholinguistic is the scientific study of psychological that enable humans to acquire, use, comprehend, and produce language. The psycholinguistic connected with the definition of approach. Psycholinguistic as an approach views that language learning is a complex cognitive process. So approach is a statement of an idea about teaching and learning. So it is connected of how psycholinguistic perspective about education. It can be seen at the total physical response as one of the methods that was born as a result by the psycholinguistic approach. That's all for me. Now I give an opportunity to Andi Nur Atia to answer the second question. Time provided.
Okay, thanks for the opportunity. My answer about the second question, psycholinguistic is a exercise for every person who is able to communicate well. But to understand that psycholinguistic is an approach, of course you need to study it because both of these work systematically. However, I still don't understand this, so I don't have the right reason or relevant experience that I can convey. Yeah, thank you.
Okay, thank you. For the next, Siti Aisyah Masnur, I give an opportunity to answer the second question. Time provided.
Okay, thanks for the opportunity. I think I agree because psycholinguistics can be considered an approach within the broader files of linguistics. Psycholinguistics explore the relationship between linguistic behavior and psycholinguistic processes, combining elements of linguistics and psychology to understand how language is produced, comprehended, and represented in the mind. Here are the reason and evidence supporting the view of psycholinguistics as an approach interdisciplinary nature. Psycholinguistics draws on the both linguistic and psychological principle to investigate the cognitive mechanism underlying language. This interdisciplinary approach sets it apart as a distinct approach within linguistics. Focus on the cognitive process, psycholinguistic delves into cognitive process such as memory, attention, perception, and problem solving as they relate to language. This focus on mental process aligns with the broader psychological perspective. And the last, experimental methods. Psycholinguistics often use experimental methods, including eye tracking, neuroimaging, and behavioral studies to gather empirical evidence on language processing. This method reflects the experimental and scientific of psychology. That's all from me. I return to moderator.
Okay, thank you for the answer. So we move to the third question. The third question is, do you agree saying that psycholinguistics has contribution to language pedagogy? Why? What do you know of contribution? So I'll be the first speaker to answer the third question. So yes, based on the references that I have read previously, uh, psycholinguistics has significant contribution in language pedagogy. So this classification has proven that discipline of psycholinguistics has truly competence and has truly become an approach in the field of language pedagogy. So based on the material from Mr. Kahar, so at least two types of contribution by psycholinguistics in the terms of language pedagogy. The first is practical contribution and the theoretical contribution. I think that's all for my answer. Now I will give an opportunity to Siti Aisyah Masnur to answer the third question. To my friends, Aisyah Masnur, time provide you.
Okay, thank you. So, do you agree with saying that psycholinguistics has contribution? I think yes. Psycholinguistics has significant contribution to language pedagogy. Understanding the cognitive process involved in language acquisition, prediction, and comprehension can inform and change language teaching methods. Second, language acquisition. Psycholinguistics contributes to the understanding of how individuals acquire additional language. This knowledge informs language pedagogy by highlighting factors that influence successful second language learning. Cognitive processing and language learning. Psycholinguistics explores the cognitive process involved in language learning, including memory, attention, and problem solving. Educators can leverage this understanding to design activities that enhance this cognitive process, making learning more effective. That's all from me. I return to moderator.
Thank you so much for the nice answer. Now for my friends, Andi Nuratia, time is yours.
Okay, thanks for the opportunity. My answer is yes, I really agree with that. Based on what I know through psycholinguistics book, that psycholinguistics has provided theory as a reference in understanding language and then explain how language learn and produce during the language pedagogy process. Maybe that's all my answer.
Okay, thank you so much for the answer. So, everyone has already answered the third question. We move to the fourth question. I will read it. So, the fourth question is, to the best of your knowledge, what are the difference between theoretical and practical contribution of psycholinguistics to language pedagogy? So, I will give an opportunity to my friends Aisyah Masnur to answer the fourth question first. Time is yours.
Okay, thanks for the opportunity. So I will answer the fourth question. Uh, I think theoretical contribution, understanding cognitive process. Theoretical contribution involves insight into cognitive process related to language acquisition, production, and comprehension. Psycholinguistic contributes theoretical frameworks that explain how learners process and internalize linguistics information. Developmental stage of language is acquisition. Theoretical contribution may involve delineating stage of language development. Models of language processing. Psycholinguistics provides theoretical models that describe how individual process language in the mind, such as the information processing models. So the next practical contribution, inform teaching strategies. Practical contribution involve applying theoretical knowledge to develop concrete teaching strategies. Psycholinguistics inform educators about effective methods for presenting linguistic input. Designing language activities. activities, and promoting language output. Task-based language teaching, psycholinguistic theories, when translated into practice, contribute to a process like task-based language teaching. Practical application involve designing tasks that mirror real-life communication, fostering meaningful language use and problem solving. I think that's all. I return to moderator.
Okay, thank you so much for the answer. Now, I will be the second speaker to answer the fourth question. So, based on the references that I have read, it's a lot from the material by Mr. Kahar. So, the differences between the theoretical and practical contribution in psycholinguistic in the terms of language pedagogy. The theoretical contribution means that psycholinguistic has provided a series of concepts that not only about the phenomena of the relationship between language and mind, but also how our mind is influenced the use of language production, perception, and acquisition. So, the differences between the practical contribution is refers to how the understanding gained from the theoretical contribution it can be used as the teaching and learning method strategy or the way the students learning by use the psycholinguistic approach. So practical contribution can be seen in the innovation and use of variety of language teaching methods and techniques developed from a theoretical understanding of psycholinguistic. So that's all for me. Now I give an opportunity to Andi Nuratia to answer the fourth question. To Andi Nuratia, time is yours.
Okay, thanks for the opportunity. I will answer the fourth question. My answer is theory is a basic that is used is a reference for boundaries in the process of understanding language acquisition, while the practice of psycholinguistic contribution is a more specific flow of how language is used through theoretical principle in psycholinguistics. That's it, my answers.
Okay. Thank you for the answer. Now we move to the fifth question. The fifth question is, does psycholinguistics have contribution to teaching productive skills? Explain your answer in detail. Okay, I will be the first speaker to answer the question. So yeah, the psycholinguistic it's also influence the way the students is learn about the productive skills. So the productive skills is refers to how they are use their language, like the way they are write, the way they are speak, or we say writing and speaking as the part of productive skills. So the way psycholinguistic has contribution in these terms is about psycholinguistic. It's the way our mind have several stages to to product a language that can be a result of our language. Like when we want to speak, we have several words. That way we also call it lexeme. That was the explanation by Mr. Kahar. So without our mind, without knowledge, we didn't have nothing. Yeah, sorry, we do not have anything to say. That's why there is the the use of our mind. So the productive skills can be teach by teacher to their students with input that can be output as a result. So the result is the speaking and writing in language learners or language teaching? So I think that's all for my answer. Now I will give an opportunity to my friends Andi Nuratia to answer the fifth question, the fifth question. Time provided.
Okay, thank you for the opportunity. My answer for this question, in this case, I don't have a definite answer because I still lack understanding regarding productive skills in language pedagogy in terms of psycholinguistics. So I don't have a answer for this question. Thank you.
Okay, so may I have suggest you to read the material that have given by Mr. Kahar in Lentera. So it's really complete theory about the practical contribution, especially in productive skills. So I think you can use the material as the references to answer the fifth question.
Okay,
Now,
thank you for your information.
you are welcome. Now I will give an opportunity to Aisa Masnur to answer the fifth question. Time is
Okay.
yours.
Okay, thanks for the opportunity. So I will answer the fifth question. I think yes, psycholinguistics has significant contribution to teaching productive skill, which encompass speaking and writing. Here are detailed explanation of how psycholinguistics contributes to the development of the skills. Understanding language production process, speaking, psycholinguistics investigates the cognitive process involved in speech production, including planning, formulation, and articulation. This understanding helps educators design activities that support learners in organizing their talks, selecting appropriate vocabulary, and expressing ideas fluently. I think that's all I return to moderator. Thank you.
Okay, you're welcome. Thank you so much for the nice answer. Now we move to the sixth question. The sixth question is almost same with the previously. So the sixth question is, does psycholinguistics have contribution to teaching receptive skill? Explain your answer in detail. So I will give an opportunity to my friends Andi Nuratia to answer the sixth question. Andi Nuratia, are you here?
Okay. Yes, I'm
Okay,
here.
time is yours.
Okay. Um, my answer still same with previous question. I don't have a definite answer because I still lack understanding regarding receptive skill in language pedagogy in terms of psycholinguistics. I'm so sorry. Thank you.
Okay, no problem. Yeah, everyone have to gain knowledge with their own. So I think you should find the way you can learn with your own. So yeah, you can understand about this material. Now I will give an opportunity to my friends Aisa Masnur to answer the sixth question. Time is yours.
Okay, thank you. Uh, I will answer the sixth question. Yes, psycholinguistics has valuable contribution to teaching receptive skills, which include listening and reading. Here's a detailed explanation of how psycholinguistics enhances the teaching of these skills. Understanding perception and comprehension. Listening psycholinguistics explore auditory perception, comprehension process, and how listeners interpret spoken language. This understanding helps educators design listening activities that enhance comprehension, focus on important details, and develop listening strategies. Reading. Psycholinguistic delves into visual perception, decoding, and comprehension process during reading. This knowledge informs reading instruction by emphasizing strategies for decoding words, extracting meaning from text, and improving overall reading comprehension. Thank you. I return to moderator.
Okay, you are welcome. So I will be the last speaker to answer the sixth question. So yes, so the answer is yes. Psycholinguistics has significant role in the receptive language skills in language pedagogy. So receptive language skills refers to reading and listening skills. So they both are the terms of the language perception based on the references that I get. So language perception is the way human is memorize something in their mind. So the way they are understand, the way they are interpreted, and the way they are have their own perception. So uh, it is really true when we say that someone that have a good public speaking or someone have a good in their way to speak, it have a lot of knowledge in their mind because they are comprehend, they are understand about about the material that they have given, like they are read or they are listening. So when they have a strong strong brain, like their mind is processing the way they are speak, the way they are using their language by the productive skill or the receptive skills. I think that's all for my answer. Now guys, we move to the last question. The last question is, to the best of your knowledge, are the theoretical and practical contribution of psycholinguistic connected each other? Explain your position with reasons and evidences. Though I will give an opportunity to my friends Andi Nur Atia to answer the seventh question. Time is yours.
Okay, thanks for the opportunity. I will answer the last question. My answer is psycholinguistics has the potential to make a significant contribution to language learning. For example, psycholinguistics can be used to develop learner-centered language learning, focusing on the learner's need and interest. Thank you.
Okay, sorry. Thank you so much for the answer. Now I will give an opportunity to my friends Aisa Masnur to answer the last question. Time is yours.
Okay, thanks for the opportunity. So I will answer the last question. Yeah, psycholinguistics has valuable contribution to both the theoretical understanding and practical aspects of teaching receptive skill, which include listening and reading. A theoretical contribution, cognitive process, psycholinguistics contributes theoretical frameworks that explain the cognitive process involved in the receptive skills. These include models of auditory and visual perception, comprehension, and memory retrieval during listening and reading activities. Practical contribution, task design, psycholinguistic informs the design of listening and reading tasks that align with cognitive process. Practical application involve creating activities that enhance learning ability to extract meaning, identify main ideas, and make inference from spoken and writing tasks. That's all from me. Thank you. I return to moderator.
Okay, thank you so much for the answer. Now I will be the last speaker to answer the last question. So my answer is the practical contribution and theoretical contribution in psycholinguistics are deeply connected each other. The way they are connected is because the definition and the way we use both of them as the language pedagogy. So as we know, the theoretical contribution in psycholinguistics is how the human brain or our mind it can be an essential part of human how they are can and produce language just like when they are have a perception, production and acquisition, so they are start in their mind. So the connection between the theoretical contribution is the way the human brain it can be influenced by the way we make teaching and learning strategies. So the practical contribution uh, is how the teaching and learning activities can be various. So it can be innovation in the way teacher teach their students. Okay, I think that's all for me. So we move to the to the end of this discussion session. So I'm as moderator. We are apologize if there are any mistakes in our discussion. So I hope this can be benefit for all of us. For who has seen our discussion and we are as the speaker. So I hope this discussion can be complete our task in psycholinguistic course. So yeah, that's all for me. So don't forget to say hamdalah for all that we have passed before. So alhamdulillah rabbil alamin. And for the last word I say, wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Thank you everyone. Bye bye.